Hi, this is the Human Operating System Time. This channel is for education and technology only. So in the past few days, the hot martial art topic which everybody discuss around the world is on the Xingyi Taiji Grandmaster who get KO in 30 seconds. And many things surface, including this Grandmaster is challenged Zhang Weili, okay, and making claim that his internal kung fu can support him to fight for 3 minutes without causing him panting. On the other hand, after he get KO, he said that he get KO because the opponent is younger than him. So, with all of this, now people are questioning, is the so-called internal martial art of China, is it real or it is a fantasy? How come since 3 years ago, the Tai Chi master get KO by Xi Xiaodong, and up to now things continue happen and again? Well, today I like to share with you, this type of thing happen is because it is lack of education, have no idea of what is reality, have no idea of what is the traditional Chinese martial art, and keeping makeup of fantasy. And of course, if you check into this Tai Chi Xingyi Grandmaster who get KO in 30 seconds, if you look at his resume, he can say, oh, he learned from this Grandmaster, this top Grandmaster, this top Grandmaster. And with all this kind of stuff is like using who he studied with to justify what he know, and it doesn't work. So today we want to solve this, okay? We want to really solve this, and by knowing this thing, what I'm going to share with you today, you can spot right away is this a fantasy or is real deal, okay? So we don't want to live in internal fantasy. Traditional Chinese martial art cannot afford to live in internal fantasy. Wing Chun cannot afford to live in the internal fantasy. The first problem why it is a fantasy is because those people who sells or preaching the internal art like this Ma Baoguo Grandmaster who get KO, is they have no idea of body mechanics and impulse momentum handling. They have no idea of it. They're going to tell you from their family, their lineage, or their grandmaster, they have this internal thing. And it get a lot of power. Magic power, instead of following the traditional Chinese martial art on the body mechanic development and the impulse momentum handling development. As I put in the, I sum it up in the Wing Chun Inception, there's a map here. On one side is body mechanic, on the other side is the impulse momentum handling. And the impulse momentum handling has to relate to all those 4 types of fighting zone or momentum zone. Now, those who keep talking about mind power, chi power, fa jing, and all the stuff without telling this, without saying this, without addressing this or presenting this or describing this, you know it is fake. You know it absolutely, it is fake. And when you make fake real, all real is fake. So you expect a 30-second, okay, like this Grandmaster. That's the first thing. The second thing is, one need to know the heart rate zone reality in traditional Chinese martial arts. So what is heart rate zone reality? Well, same in the Wing Chun Inception. I map what the ancient traditional Chinese martial arts practice into this H map based on heart rate. That's why it's called H model, based on the different heart rate zone. Okay, because this is in the map in the sport science. Now, due to it is based on the heart rate zone reality, where you map the ancient traditional Chinese martial art in, we today know there are basically three types of the physiological states. The first is recovery, the second is aerobic, the third is anaerobic. So, if you watch this channel, I have shared this with you. So with the H model, you break into the recovery or the Qigong, and then aerobic and anaerobic. And you know that it be able to detect with all this modern gadget, and we can see that, like for example, for the recovery, you have this type of practice. For the aerobic or conditioning, you have this type of practice, including your Qi Sao and then your Jing, those kind of stuff. And then for the fighting or impulse momentum handling, it is in anaerobic. Okay, so it is in this different type of heart rate zone, or zone 4, zone 5. Now, you can see it really clearly. Why is this Tai Chi Xingyi Grandmaster get KO? Because you see all his stuff, his practice is here. Around here, this Jing Jing stuff. He have no idea what happened in this impulse momentum, the high speed playing zone, or the high heart rate zone, or the anaerobic zone. So make the idiotic claim of, oh, I can play for 3 minutes, I can fight for 3 minutes without causing myself panting because I have internal art. Well, are you serious? Do you know what is the anaerobic zone, where all this MMA player, UFC player, including Zhang Weili, is trained in? So the same thing is, if people say that they train in Qi Sao and this mind power Wing Chun, they can fight with the Zhang Weili and struggle like Zhang Weili with Joanna, or what is presented in the ancient Shaolin Sword Strike, that is living in fantasy. That is living in fantasy. So, know these two: body mechanics, impulse momentum, and the heart rate zone reality. Where are one trained? If one want to fight, one better be able to train in the anaerobic zone, because you know that fighting is anaerobic. Fighting is anaerobic. Even playing the what do you call it? The battle ropes is anaerobic. Playing kettlebell is anaerobic. That's why there is the HIIT training, HIIT, high intensity interval training. You need to have that training. Your push hand, your qi sao, your fa jing, and your demonstrations. It is based on this aerobic zone stuff. Maybe get slide into the anaerobic zone, but knowing this, and also if you talk about qi gong and so forth, that's in recovery zone. So one very ridiculous thing exists today is people talking about 站桩, which is in the recovery zone, and then you will develop some kinds of power, magic power, where you can bounce off people in this zone. Are you serious? Can you develop your magic power here to defeat people who train here, handling impulse momentum and in anaerobic at this high heart rate zone? Compare with this is the resting heart rate zone. Look around. Didn't people advocate that? Or we need to 站桩. If you 站桩, that means you'll be able to have this magic power. And then you usually say that there are such grandmaster in the ancient China. People touch them, they bounce you away. You use this to analyze them. You know that they are not training for that. They don't even know where they are. So, with this tool, you can analyze. Take a look at whatever people talk about their martial art, internal whatever, using these two tools to analyze them. We don't want to be prejudiced. We want to base on real evidence. So if people say that it is internal, I say fine, let's analyze with this. If it is satisfied this, you say yes, that's real internal. If it never satisfied this and talk about qi power, this move, that move, but never know this, never train in this, you walk away. Because you know it is a disaster. Like this Ma Bao Guo guy, how many years he had practiced his martial arts? How many years he had practiced his martial art? When he challenging Zhang Weili, that act and the way how he talked, you know right away he have no idea of this. This is clueless on this thing. So disregard of who is his teacher. It doesn't matter. If you don't know, you don't know. You never train, you never train. So this is to share with you. This is the bottom line. And it is extremely ridiculous, like this grandmaster, when one doesn't know this, including the guy who get defeated by Xi Xiaodong 3 years ago, because these few days he's defending this grandmaster too. You see how he talk. You know he doesn't know this. So it is hopeless. If we really want to get result for a healthy body, or learning the fighting of traditional Chinese martial arts or Chinese culture, follow this. Not buying, and one must not buying those internal stuff anymore. It is time to say enough is enough. The reason I wrote this, and I call it Inception, is because we can always, you know, like the 3 years ago when the Lei Lei, the Chinese, the Tai Chi master get defeated by Xi Xiaodong, you say, oh, because Xi Xiaodong is professional and traditional Chinese martial art is not professional. And then right now you say, oh, because the opponent is younger and the grandmaster who get defeated is older. That is not going to solve anything. That's just alibi, idiotic alibi. The more one say that, as soon as you check with this, analyze them with this, you know that they have nothing. It's empty there. And of course, this is not good for those kind of people. Why? Because this type of analyzed tools is going to make them naked. And if you use these tools on traditional Chinese martial art, internal art, you can see through them, and you can see how many percent is real, how many percent is living in fantasy. So this is to share with you today. Today is 22nd May of 2020. It is time to wake up. Don't let all this kind of fantasy screw traditional Chinese martial arts. Disregard of it's Wing Chun or it is Tai Chi or what. Traditional Chinese martial art is not fantasy. Wing Chun is not fantasy, Tai Chi is not fantasy. They're based on this. If you read the ancient teaching,